Hi there, my name is Nicole Hebert with the Moose Jaw Journey to Hope team, and this is Voices of Hope.
Hello, my name is Carla O'Reilly. I'm an author, inspirational speaker of the books The Smiling Mask, Behind the Mask, and Turn on the Switch. But my passion is to help people, and I am passionate about mental health and mental awareness, OCD, and what I want to show people, what I believe in is important is to be the star, to dress for a party. And today I kind of want to share how that became my motto, my mantra for getting healthy. And it's something that I think everyone should try and incorporate in their life.
Amazing. Well, we're so excited to have you here today, Carla. It's been a bit, but we're happy that you've come back, and I really like the concept of dressing for the party. I think that's so essential, especially if we think about how our last year has gone for everybody around the world. You get to choose the reality that you want to have. You get to choose the perception of the life that you want to build. And part of that is knowing, what's within your grasp of control and what isn't, but also knowing how to work through it. So tell me a bit about the concept of dressing for the party. Why has this become a mantra for you? And how has it kind of impacted your personal journey?
Well, I think that it is huge in terms of mental health and mental wellness. And I definitely know that when I suffered with my depression, which lasted 4 years, I stopped dressing for a party. However, it was still there. It was still going on. And I got up every day and I showered and I did my hair and I put on my makeup. And that was one thing that I used in that period to survive. And I think that it's super important if you are struggling with depression or a mental illness. It's something everybody needs, is to get in the shower and have that time where you can kind of force yourself at times, and sometimes you do have to force yourself to focus on your self-care. And so I think that has been hugely important for me. And then when I got, started to get better, I began speaking in public and writing the Smiling Mask, and it was like, okay, it's time to turn on the shine, and you're gonna have to be in front of people and you're gonna have to look your best. And so that's really when the door started to open for me, and I was like, oh, I love clothes, I love jewelry, this is something that I find joy in, and it's something that makes me feel better. And so everybody has a different way of self-care, and I don't think necessarily that it has to be the same for every person, but find your mojo.
Yeah. And I mean, too, there's just so much benefit. It starts off with, what's your baseline of caring for yourself. When it comes to the, dressing for the party, or just kind of starting off with that good morning routine, taking care of yourself, taking a shower, getting ready. Why was that a motivator for you? Why was that kind of a pillar of setting a good tone for your day?
I think intrinsically, that was something that was a value that was instilled in me as a child from my parents, and also my grandma. She believed in dressing for a party. And so I remember as a child always seeing her. I never saw her without makeup, without her hair done, and without a suit on. And I'll never forget that. And so I felt that in my healing journey, I knew that I hadn't got rock bottom, because I always kept that kind of that I got to do this. And also I was caring for a child. And so that was just my morning routine, was to get up, to get ready, to get him bathed, to get him clean. And so I'm thankful for those things that were instilled in me. And I think that it's something that some people take for granted. Like, they don't even think of, that is a self-care piece. But I think it's really something that's important, and it's a little goal to set.
You spoke a bit about your personal journey in regards to postpartum depression along with OCD. So when we think about dressing for the party, how might you kind of like connect these pieces to how you chose to take care of yourself in terms of like dressing and continuing that on?
Well, I think the OCD can either make you or break you. Because if you are suffering with it, it's a debilitating illness. And it certainly became that for me. But how I learned to channel it was like, okay, I know I've got this. When you have OCD, you got a lot of energy. You got a lot of things to think about. So I turned it and went, okay, I'm going to focus on the positive. I'm going to focus on helping people to get yourself out of those thoughts. And so kind of with the writing of the book, with the speaking, with the passion of helping others, it just went like, okay, this is where I'm going to focus it. And then also like dressing. So like picking out my outfits the night before, which I did last night just to get ready for this, right? Because it's fun.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you do have a passion for fashion, that's something that you can do to kind of get ready. And like fall's coming, so I mean, I've got my fall outfits picked out and stuff like that. So it's kind of like learning how to channel your strengths. So we all kind of, in the book I talk about, we all have different strengths. And I think that's something else, that when you're struggling with mental illness, you kind of forget about your strengths.
Right.
You kind of get down on yourself, and you have what I call stinking thinking. And so you focus on the bad stuff. And really what turn on the switch, and what I've learned to do with my OCD, is like, you have this passion, you have a passion to help others. Let's take your strengths and let's focus them on the positive. And that's kind of what I want to show people, is that it's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Like, here you've either got a choice to have a good day, or you've got a choice to have a bad day.
Yeah. In terms of kind of dressing for the party, like when you've spoken about this, or when you've kind of brought this up maybe with other people, or have spoken about it in your book, what were kind of the thoughts that maybe, or conversations that you got out of it?
I feel like with my circle, they all know that I do this. And it's like a known thing. And it's something that I feel through my circle, and it is a large amount of women, that it's something that's, I don't want to say, I'm trying to think of a better word, but the glitter has rubbed off on them. How about that?
I love it.
They are looking at it, and they're learning from it, and they're excited about it, and they always say, "Oh, you're always so dressed up. Where are you going?" Or and I'm like, this is me hanging around the house today because it makes me feel better, right? So I feel like it's kind of a movement that started within my circle of people that I mentor and that kind of stuff. And I think it's a good thing. Like, it's embracing yourself, and everybody has different style, and I totally like go with that. Like, some people are earthy tone, and I typically wear black and white. That's my thing. Some people are earth tones, and like my one friend, she always wears like browns and oranges and that kind of stuff. And I totally like embrace anybody's style. You go for it.
Yeah. I guess the other piece too I want to ask you is, what do you feel is the long-term impact for you in doing this for yourself?
The long-term impact. So one of the big things that I like to talk about, and when I speak and I write and stuff, is I feel like it's important to celebrate who you are, your spirit. So tool number 11 is kind of the focus of dress for the party, be the star. This isn't a dress rehearsal. We only get one life. You need to honor yourself and your spirit. It's about embracing who you are. And so long term is I am looking forward to sharing this with my children, which I already have with my son. I always tell him, take pride in yourself, look nice. He just had his grad and he had a fabulous suit.
Yeah.
And then teaching this to my grandchildren. So this is a legacy with my nieces, because I have all girl nieces and I love them, and teaching them to be strong women, but creating a legacy to basically say, you are beautiful, you are strong, you are brave. I'm tearing up a little bit. But encouraging that, and I think with my spirit, what I want my legacy to be is I want to make the world a better place. And I want people to know that they don't have to be ashamed of their illness. So I know that there's a lot of people that struggle with shame, they struggle with sadness, they don't feel they're good enough. And I mean, I certainly struggled with those things during the illness. I would hide from pictures, I would hide from nobody, I didn't want anyone to look at me. And I don't want to see anybody go through that. Because we're all valuable. And so that's what my mission is.
Yeah, and it's like, life is your runway, and you only get one runway, so you gotta go.
I do want to just say, for moms and dads, like, when you're going through the parenthood bit, it's tough. It's a grind. You don't get time to yourself. You don't have time to put on makeup. You don't have time to brush your teeth. But I want to be like the poster child. My son is now graduated. He's off to college. And I want to be the poster child to say, hey, like, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And when you're in the thick of it, you kind of think there ain't no light. But there is a light, and like, I'm here to show you that it does exist. And so, just be kind to yourself. And yeah, some days you struggle with brushing your teeth, getting a shower, all those things. So don't put the pressure on yourself. But for moms too, basically self-care is huge.
So if you think about like self-confidence and self-esteem, how might you kind of tie that into kind of dressing for the party?
I think that it's something that women struggle with. I struggled with it. I was not confident leading into basically from being a teenager to moving into my 20s. I was never thin enough. I was never good enough. I was never pretty enough. And I think when you hit 40, it's like everything came into focus, and it's like, no, that's not what I'm going to believe anymore. It's not serving me. I am confident. I'm beautiful. So I learned about self-affirmations and how important they are. And I start my day with good morning, beautiful, when you look in the mirror. These are things called mirror work. So it's something you could do as an exercise. And so all those things kind of, so complimenting yourself, because no one else is going to do it. Being confident, again, no one's going to pat you on the back. I mean, maybe your parents will, hopefully, but that's something that I'm a big believer in. And then complimenting other people. So when I see my friend, I'm like, I find something that I love about them, and I'm like, oh my God, even today my friend was here, and I'm like, your hair looks beautiful. You've got a beautiful braid. I love the color. That looks gorgeous. So whatever. So kind of like seeing what's beautiful in somebody else and complimenting them on it. And doesn't that feel amazing?
So the last thing I kind of want to touch on is when you're thinking about dressing for the party,
yep,
what would be the message that you want others to hear for that?
Shine your light. So when you're dressing for the party, however that looks, whether you're sporty, whether you're earthy, whether you're fire, whether you're black and white like me, whether you're what's some of the other outfits that I see, like whether you're like boho chic or you're like sporty, however you're doing it, shine your light, show your true colors, be authentic, take pride in how you look, and take time for yourself. I think that's huge, but the biggest thing, shine your light for everybody to see.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you so much, Carla, for being a part of the Voices of Hope series. Again, you can check out Carla's both of her books. So that is The Smiling Mask and as well as Turn on the Switch. We were so happy to have you come back, Carla, and I'm sure we'll have more to talk about. And again, if anyone out there has some stories or personal journeys that they want to share with us here at Journey to Hope team with their Voices of Hope series, please contact us. You can reach out to our Facebook page, or you can contact Voices of Hope 2020 at outlook.com.